This episode, Big Girl Pants Podcast, is brought to you by Podcorn.
Podcorn.
So, Shapiro and I have been doing this podcast for 3 years now.
Yep.
And I have been ready to try to find some sponsors because we want to, monetize our podcast.
Yes.
Which essentially means partnering with brands that are going to bring value to our listeners.
Yep.
And
brands that we believe in as well.
100%. And we work full time. So this isn't our main source of income.
It's a passion project.
Yes. And we definitely want some brands and companies to align with us.
Yep.
And we will always be transparent about the brands that partner with us. And Podcorn is one of those that, I was actually really surprised when I found it, because when I started Googling how to get a sponsor for podcasts, which we could do a little bit more legwork.
Yeah.
Right? We could probably pitch to the people that have been on the show or people that we know or businesses.
True.
Stuff like that. We could do that. It's a lot of work.
But like you said, we both work full time.
Exactly.
We have we also have lives outside of this. So this is kind of like the seventh thing in our life that we do.
Exactly. So it's once I found Podcorn, it was a website that I went to. I entered the information about our podcast, our statistics, demographics, how many subscribers we have. Then they partner you with companies who are interested in advertising through channels like yours.
Right.
So it just so happened that Podcorn was the first company that I pitched to that wanted to sponsor us.
Super cool.
So I went in, I selected dates, and I named our price.
Yep.
And we got sponsored.
And let me tell you, it's so easy. It's so intuitive.
Yes.
You just log in and there's not a learning curve.
Right.
You plug in what you want, your information, and within seconds, there's you can scroll through the possible sponsors. Yeah. So it's super, super easy. We're super excited to be sharing their brand just because we believe in it.
And for people like us, we're podcasters, but we also listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
So for anyone who listens to us who also has a podcast, this is super valuable for you too.
Absolutely.
If you want to start having sponsors.
Which you should.
Yes.
Yeah. So check it out today for sure.
Yes. So
Podcorn.
Podcorn, www.podcorn.com. You go in, you enter your details about your podcast, and then you can find sponsors for your show too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And now on to the episode. Okay.
Hi, this is Big Girl Pants Podcast,
where we talk about women, health, power, and wealth.
Hosted by
April Melton
and Kimberly Shapiro.
We are real women with real jobs doing real life.
Join us while we showcase inspirational stories and inspirational people.
Come on, y'all. Put your big girl pants on and stay tuned.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm so great. How are you? That shirt's very cute. Where'd you get it?
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
There's this boutique called Sugar and Suede.
Oh, where do I find them?
I know. Sugar & Suede on Facebook.
Oh, okay, perfect. I love those boutiques.
Love
Is it an online boutique?
It is.
Oh, great.
Check it out, everybody.
Yeah, plug. Thanks. So we have a guest today, and you guys, I don't think I realized who she was before I invited her on the show, and now I just...
She's a total local celebrity.
Well, I learned more and more, and then I just like her more and more. So I'm just really excited.
We're so happy you're here.
I'm kind of starstruck because you're kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
Definitely a big deal.
Really dumb, but
not dumb at all. No, but I genuinely feel like that, and I promise I'm not trying to blow your head up, but what you've done with this group is so inspirational, and also girl power, man.
Yeah.
This is the exact reason why we started our podcast is to empower more women. And empowering women doesn't always mean not empowering men, but empowering women is our drive. That is the thing that drives us. And meeting people like you just motivates and fuels the dream even more.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thanks, guys. It's been super fun.
So who are you? So what's your name?
Who are you?
Hi.
My name is Amanda Smith, and P.S. Are you guys on Clubhouse?
Yes.
Not yet.
I officially got an invitation. I'm so excited.
I'm not, but I want to be.
Okay.
So you can invite me.
So, Clubhouse. This is my Clubhouse intro. Hi, my name is Amanda Smith. I'm the CEO and founder of Dallas Girl Gang. I started this community here in Dallas, Texas in 2017, created a Facebook group, and then all of a sudden, here we are, and we serve 50,000 women across the world every single week, and it's wild.
Yeah.
I was a teacher for 7 years. My background is music education, so absolutely nothing to do with business. I have a husband. His name is Zach, and now he is a teacher, so we kind of switched places. And we've been married for I forgot how long. 6 years? I forgot.
Long time.
Long time. And yeah, I love especially getting to do a physical in-person podcast. It is so much fun.
Yes.
We've recorded remotely for years, and I've only got to do like a handful of these like in-person settings.
It's so much fun. During COVID, obviously, we had to switch gears and do Zoom. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. You just didn't have that same connection. We did it. We thrived. It was fine, but I don't love it.
But the energy that you get when you record in person is like electric.
It is.
Yeah, it's really different. Yeah.
Do you guys listen to Joe Rogan?
She's the biggest fan.
Okay, girl. You know he's bringing Demi Lovato on because she just came out with her documentary.
Shut up.
About her.
Oh my God, I'm so
heart attacks and stroke,
and drugs and everything.
Okay, so I'm so out of the loop.
Journey,
but then relapse, and then it's a whole thing. Her series is on YouTube. My husband just texted me as I was walking in here. He goes, "Demi's on Rogan," and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
she's on Rogan right now,
wow.
like
the
now,
out.
like today."
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna freak out.
I'm gonna freak out too. I love her.
Oh my gosh, I love her too. We started watching like that documentary, and I think they're releasing episodes. I don't know.
I think
how.
it is sequential. YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Just YouTube, which is super
new,
strange,
right? But whatever.
I forgot your question. But I just started talking about Rogan. No, I started talking about
COVID and doing
virtual and
virtual.
Yeah. Rogan has. I mean, he has in-person studio. He's like, I will do everything I can to not have a digital episode.
Do you listen to him?
Oh, yeah, because of my husband.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, she has been from the beginning. He was the inspiration, actually.
He was the inspiration. Well, and I started
the OG.
The OG. I started listening to Rogan, which ironically, he's only like 3.5 hours away, guys. So dreams. Joe Rogan, I'm putting it out there. I would love to come on your podcast. But I was a stay-at-home mom, and when my daughter was born in 2014, I started listening to podcasts because that was like my adult interaction. That was like my stimulation. I'm learning. I feel like I'm part of the conversation, and they said it so many times before too. That's why people like us, because they're like, I feel like I'm hanging out with my girlfriends.
Yeah,
like I'm listening, but I feel like I'm still a part of it.
Yeah.
So yes, I started, and then I started my career. I work in staffing and recruiting, so does Shapiro.
Yep.
And I started working for her, and we just started having these amazing, candid conversations about all things, about relationships, about parenting, about business, about don't cry in the boardroom, like so many different topics. And
crying at work.
Picture big girl pants on.
Crying at work.
But honestly, it's fine if you cry at work, though. Like,
it's fine if you cry at work. It's time and place.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't.
Shapiro's old
yeah,
school.
no, I actually don't think it's okay to cry at work, and it's not because women shouldn't be allowed to show their emotions.
For sure.
But I think it does. I mean, I think it's wonderful to be authentic. You have to be authentic.
But what do you mean cry at work? What does cry at work mean to you?
Yeah, that would be my question.
Yeah, I think if you're in a tough situation, like if you're trying to think of a scenario, your boss
I can give you plenty of scenarios.
Well, your boss is having a tough conversation with you. I think you need to probably just put a tough face on for a bit and then go cry in the bathroom.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
There, because I think at some point, which is so interesting, we're getting into this conversation. So being in education for 7 years, obviously I think it depends on the industry that you're in and the job that you're in.
Right.
I was in a very tough school where kids were like, the cops were at our school like 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Kids were like stabbing pencils at each other's backs, and this kid had a knife and this kid had drugs, and they were like, F you, bitch, like to the teachers. And I was like, cool, this is awesome.
Wow.
And when you had conversations with your bosses who also don't give a F about nothing, it's like it wears you down so much, and you're just stuck.
That's real life stuff.
And it's
it all is.
It's going to happen, and something's going to snap.
And I'll say that there's been times where I have been so frustrated at a situation that, me talking directly to my boss, my boss's boss, who's the CEO, I've cried one time with him. And in the year that I've worked for him, I've cried one time, and it was out of frustration because of...
That would be my thing, too.
Because of business. And it wasn't because of my emotions. It was because of the level of the workload that I had and the frustration that I had with my direct manager.
So that's where I think, and pause, stop. Keith, I can't hear. There's something with my headphones.
Yeah, I'm not really hearing myself that great either. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, stand by.
Okay, thank you.
I bet you we can adjust it on the
Maybe. And I'm sorry, where were we? So we don't lose in the boardroom. I want to say something about that.
Crying.
The different crying.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably
I'm like, I think I can hear, but I'm not really sure.
I mean, I can mine sounds muted.
I know what I did. You guys were more energetic, so I turned the gains down, which
You're grounded.
You're
grounded.
there's a master for A.
You want us to just keep talking until we
that's so much better.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I hear it all in my right ear now.
Yeah, I'm getting
Maybe
a lot
do
on
both
the
of
right.
them.
I'll just keep talking until...
I'm loving it.
What's wrong? You want some McDonald's? What's going on?
I don't know, man. That's like my little song I sing to myself.
Okay, that's better.
That's great.
Perfect. Just like that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, we're super
Thank you so
energetic.
much.
We're so energetic.
Sorry we have so much energy.
Third round.
We got this.
So boardroom.
Yeah, I'm going to wait until you get back in there. Give us a little, you're ready.
I'll give you a heads up.
Okay.
I got to be careful how I close this because this swayed back and forth for about 2 minutes when I closed the door last time.
Yeah, just close it slow. Do you have to close it super hard or do you want me to close it?
Can someone push it?
I'll close it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank you for your patience.
I'm trying to think. I've probably only cried at work. Maybe a total over 7 years, 4 times.
Yeah.
One was in front of my boss because she was a huge bitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you seriously coming and chewing my ass out for no reason?
And you're like, you're
And
literally
this child has the worst life ever and needs to be taken away from her. You know,
That's
that.
different.
And
I think,
oh my God, I
think
couldn't
that
even
is
imagine
different.
being a teacher in that kind of situation. How
It's part of-
devastating is that?
it was really emotional. That's most of the
Especially
reason
when
I
you're
got
like
out.
the only normal adult in this child's life.
For sure.
My God.
And now my husband's a teacher. He teaches in a middle school and he's seeing
Okay, we're ready.
everything.
So I cried in front of my boss my boss's boss, who is the CEO. And it was because I wasn't crying because I got emotional. I was crying because I was under immense pressure from the workload that I had and the frustration from my other boss not empathizing with letting me do my job.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think maybe I'm thinking of this too from like a one-sided perspective. I'm thinking of it from the manager perspective or the boss perspective versus the person who's like receiving the information.
Yeah.
Because it is very frustrating, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm not empathetic. But I do in all honesty struggle with that a little bit.
Sure.
But it is frustrating when I have something serious that I need to deliver to somebody and I need them to hear me, and their response out of frustration or whatever
is super emotional.
Is super emotional and a freaking meltdown. And I'm like, listen, we are professionals. We can handle this. We can get through this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need you to like meet me here in the middle a little
sure.
bit. I can tone down where I'm coming from, but I'm going to need
the way
you
you're
to
delivering it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I'm impacting you in such a way that it's making you emotional.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's not what I'm trying to accomplish, but help me, meet me in the
Well,
middle
I
here,
think-
because I don't know what to do with that. And when I see somebody, the shoulder heaving sobs too. I'm not talking about a tear down the side of her face,
But
I'm
like
talking
world
about
is ending.
Right. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you right
For
now.
sure. And I'm so glad you brought up the fact that you're like, I'm, a part of empathy is like something that you
I struggle with.
would struggle
Yes.
with being self-aware of that. So like I'm a boss now. I have 4 people that work for me.
Yeah.
And so I saw so many pieces of what other bosses, especially female bosses,
Right.
that I hated.
It's a whole thing. Walk a day in the shoes, right? And you start to understand.
And so now always I want to check on them as a person before
Yes.
we go into business, because at the end of the day, if they don't feel connected to me on a personal level,
Right.
it's not going to matter anyways.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I found out one of my girls works remote for me in Canada. Her dad passed away last year. I had no idea when I hired her that happened, but I'm super glad because then when she took off some time around the anniversary of that, I understood why, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, but it's so interesting.
That brings up a huge point that I don't think that people really take into consideration. And I think that, and this is not me aging you, but I think it's the workforce in general, the workplace in general, shifting.
Yeah, agreed.
But it's like, guys, like, so I led my first like team meeting yesterday in the office.
Cool.
And I was like, listen, like, we're all on the same team. We're all working towards the same goal, but also we have to show that immense amount of respect for each other.
Yes.
Because if you don't respect this person as a person, they're not going to respect you. They're not going to show you the respect that you need, and they're not going to want to contribute to the best of their ability if they don't feel respected.
Yeah.
And
well, that's not even anything against me, because you worked for me. You know that's exactly how
I don't mean you.
Sure.
I mean the workplace in general. I think that. And this is, again, not a man bashing thing, but I think men, especially because they've been trained or it's been ingrained in them not to think emotionally. They're like, well, this is business. Business is business. No crying.
It's black and white.
Right.
There's
you don't
no
have
crying
feelings.
in baseball.
Yeah.
Drop your feelings at the door and then you get to come to work. Like, that's not how life works.
But you know who's changing it? You know who's changing the scene? It not just having more women in leadership, obviously that, but Brene Brown.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
her
sure.
putting it out there, like vulnerability is actually cool.
Yes.
It's the way to be, right? And I think she has been a pivotal influence on the way that we react in
just
leadership
humanizing the workplace experience.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, how cliche is this, but especially with 2020.
For sure.
And everybody being, either lost their job
that was
or
awesome, though.
work from home.
To see the human side. We had a podcast on that.
Sure.
We were like, how cool is that, though, to have these Zoom meetings with people's cats walking across the keyboard
And their kids in the
hanging
back.
on their shoulders. It's like,
Yeah.
so John actually has
A family.
5 kids and 2 dogs and a cat. It's look at that. He's like a real person.
It's the best.
It's almost like you're a teacher, you understand this. When we were in school and we would see our teachers outside of the school, we're like, oh, they don't live there? Like they don't
Did you
I
go
know.
to restaurants?
It was the
Did you
best.
go to the grocery
what?
store?
When I would see students out, they would be like, you go to Target. That was one of the best things I ever heard was like, Miss Smith, you go to Target. I was like, hell yeah, I go to Target. I love Target. They were like, Mom, Miss Smith loves Target. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because you live in the school. That's where teachers live.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
That's
all the time.
All the time.
They sleep there.
You don't
They're
have
not
a
real
life
people.
Eat in
outside
the
school.
cafeteria.
They're
What's wrong
not
with
real
you?
people. They're just a teacher.
Yeah, but I think that that's a good positive change.
Yes, I do
regardless
too.
of what
I think so.
brought on the change. I think that like really humanizing work.
It is more women in leadership. That is what's changing
key, man. Key.
Yep, I think that's what's changing it. Well, okay, so back to you. So tell us how this started. I mean, would you say 50,000 people? Mm-hmm. And you said global before we started the podcast. She had mentioned that they are now global, so it should be the Global Girl Gang.
Right? I know.
So, but how did you get the idea? Where did this spark?
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
I love sharing our story. So I grew up in McKinney, actually. And then I went to a small school in Arkansas. I went to Ouachita Baptist University. It was like 2,000 people. Went there, graduated in 2014. And we lived there for a while. My husband's from Arkansas. We came back in 2016, and it was like I was completely starting from scratch. Like, friends didn't live here anymore. High school friends, we don't really talk anymore.
Right.
My family's here. Cool. But what else?
Yes.
And at the time, I was in direct sales with a company, but I was also teaching in Richardson. And I just started to Google things or search on Facebook, find events to go to, you know, a networking shopping party at Kendra Scott, or here's this happy hour or whatever, which was super fine. Well, what I found, and this is what I always say, was it was very like individualized. So this was for real estate agents. This was for influencers. This was for moms. This was for just millennials, which like I am a millennial, but like I don't want to just hang out with my own age group. And then also, quite frankly, it was like a lot of just white girls, all the same people everywhere. And it was like we were trying to do sororities again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Compartmentalizing. Yep.
And here's what's funny. I joined a sorority in college. I was the pledge class president, and then I quit. I was like, this sucks. And so anyway, I just saw a huge hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to Dry Bar in Plano.
And you guys just went there like last night, right? Or
Yeah,
2
we
nights
did.
ago?
We did go in Dallas, but this was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I went with a few friends, and it was when we were just kind of getting started, and I started the Facebook group. And then Dry Bar invited us to like come get free blowouts or whatever. I was like, this will be fun. And so we go, and I was like, there could really be something here.
Yeah.
And so I just added a few friends to the Facebook group, and they told their friends, and they told their friends, and they told. So you know the 3 questions you have to answer before you join a Facebook group online.
Yeah.
So one of our questions used to be, how did you find out about this group? And it would be like, I searched on Facebook. I searched on Google. My friend at work told me about it. I was at the grocery store and this person told me about it. And so I was seeing how it was spreading so rapidly and organically because there was a need for it. And I think it comes from, I won't go too much into this, but growing up, I was a super introverted person. We were talking about this a minute ago. I was super introverted as a kid, and except for when we were at like church and I was with my church friends and I was like, fine. And so growing up, I was super shy, like painfully shy, until I got into music and singing and played guitar and leading worship at a church. And so then I had to kind of get over it because I was like, well, I love doing this. I'm not going to be shy my whole life. Well, this is terrible. I'm not going to waste my life.
Right.
And so I kind of got over it. But I remember feeling so isolated and alone or on the outside when I was letting myself be introverted and not letting myself have these other friends and experiences I could have. And so the idea is that I never wanted people to feel alone. And so that's why our trademark and our motto is you can sit with us. Because everybody is welcome at the table.
You can sit with us.
Exactly. And so that's kind of like how it started. Facebook group. Then we launched a conference 2018, launched a podcast after that, a membership, more events. Events has been like the foundation of what we've done because I've always wanted to gather people online and in person.
Yeah.
Like since day one.
How did 2020 impact that?
It's a great, I totally shut everything down.
Yeah.
We had 3 events in 2020 before March. We did one in January with the launch of a movie called Like a Boss with Tiffany Haddish. It was amazing. And then we partnered with Paramount on that, which was super fun. And then in February...
You partnered with Paramount?
Yeah.
Bro, don't be breezing over that. She's like,
man.
Yeah, we partnered with Paramount on that. But
that's no big deal. I mean, Paramount.
Not trying to be
Paramount. It's no big deal.
What?
They reached out and said, hey, we want to do the screening with you and your people. And so I hit up my friend Danielle, who also became a client later on, and she worked for a movie theater company and used to do press junkets. And I was like, Danielle, let's do this together. So let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. We had hundreds of people at a private screening. And then in February we did our annual Galentine's, which was the best.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite things we do. And then we did a Boss Babe Happy Hour, which is a panel style business focused event, and then everything shut down.
Yeah.
So everything we had planned, I think just being candid, we lost money.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Deposits, refunds of tickets.
Everything.
And so everything just went virtual. We did 22 virtual events the rest of 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, I'm so tired.
Yeah. Why is this computer so exhausting?
And so after our conference in the fall, we took it totally virtual and our speakers were completely flexible. It was wonderful. I was like, you know what? I need a break. So we just didn't really do anything November, December. People are doing holidays anyway.
Yeah. That's typically what we do with the podcast too. We kind of take a break.
We do.
The month of December.
We're ready for it by then.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, 2020 did shut down our events, but we were able to still connect people for sure. And then it also allowed me to continue to develop my personal brand because at that point I was still teaching, but people were still asking me, hey, can you coach me? And I didn't have the capacity before.
Yeah.
But then I was teaching from home and I was like, I got some time. And so develop my personal brand and really leaning into what do business owners need? How can I be a coach to them? What did I wish I would have had? And creating programs and services that they need. So
right.
That is so freaking cool.
So fun.
I know.
Oh my God, I love it. I think I stumbled onto you guys. I'm trying to think maybe a year and a half ago.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I actually comment frequently when people are looking for something.
Yep. There's multiple women that are in that group too that I've even just everybody, there was a huge thread not that long ago where everybody was talking about buying a house and how crazy it is right now. And there was the person that I used for my mortgage, your mom's in the group.
Oh,
so I
found my daughter's photographer for her wedding on Dallas Girl Gang.
And,
And the people use it like a search engine now.
Yeah,
it is.
It's great.
You go in the search bar and you're like personal trainer or
I was like
brow artist.
Restaurants to rent.
Yeah.
Like how do you rent out a restaurant? Like in there.
Yeah.
Because somebody was talking about like hosting events or weddings or receptions or whatever.
Tons of wedding industry people.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's a lot of I think real estate. I see a lot of wedding industry people.
Yeah. Lawyers.
But
I see a lot of
also
lawyers.
people just coming to town looking for community.
A lot of women looking for friends.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's such a hodgepodge of people. I mean, I think from the data that we have, it's like 50-50 business owners, entrepreneurs, and then they're just looking for community connection referrals.
And you know what I love about it? This is the number one thing that I think is so fascinating is the positive comments. People are always very happy, very open to helping.
I hope so.
Well, they are. And especially when people are like, I'm moving to town and I need a friend.
Yeah.
People
That's
are like,
hard to say.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, I'm looking for a friend too.
Yeah.
Let's go hang. I just love that.
It's almost like friend dating.
It is.
Oh, this is exactly how I describe it to people. I say it's super weird finding adult friends. It's like you're in kindergarten again in the sandbox and you're like, but you're, I don't know, 35 years old and you're like, hi, do you want to be my friend?
Right. I'm in my apartment.
I'm married and I have a dog and
I like
whatever.
stuff and
yeah.
things.
And it's
I like food.
Yeah. You want to
places.
go eat food and hang out. It's not a date, but like kind of.
But like,
we can be
like
friends.
A friend date, but like I'm not trying to go anywhere with you.
I love it.
Ugh.
That's so fun. So what's next?
What's next? So this year we have a virtual summit coming up April 2nd, and that is focused on self-care because it's very important. So we're focusing self-care for busy women. So everybody, we're all busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be online, and then the replay's available, and then I'm pretty hard, fast set on doing our conference in person this year.
Yay.
In October.
Yay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm so ready, y'all. I'm so ready to network.
Where was the last conference?
So 2019 was the last in person, and it was at the AC Hotel in Addison.
Okay.
Right by the Galleria. It was great. We had Jacqueline Johnson, who's the CEO of Create and Cultivate, which is huge. And she was fantastic. And then we had tons of other speakers from everywhere around the world. And it was awesome, and I'm just dying to do it again.
Yeah.
We're celebrating 4 years in April.
Congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
awesome. Big deal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're having an outdoor happy hour, and I opened up tickets last Sunday, and they sold out in 24 hours.
Damn.
So,
did you get a ticket?
That's okay though.
People,
that's good.
They want to get back in person.
Yeah.
So.
People are ready, man.
Can you hook two sisters up?
Let me see what I can do. Let me ask the restaurant.
She's like,
I'm sure that
it's a capacity thing.
Right.
Oh, it's a capacity thing.
Where is it? Where are you having it?
It is at HG Supply on Greenville in Dallas.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah,
great little rooftop
Love that place.
spot.
Yeah, yep. Mary loves that place. She lives right over there too.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
I love Mary.
I can't wait. I love her too. She's the best.
Yeah, she has a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited that you're here. Seriously, because when you participate in an online community, you never really know who the face behind it is.
For sure.
So it's like, oh, here she is.
Here she is.
Here she is. She's a real person.
My little.
I know. When you sent me
minions.
a DM, I was like, oh, who is this? What? She's like, what do you record? I was like, oh, in a studio in Frisco. Blah blah. And then I look at her profile. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You're coming on my podcast. I love you.
You're a real bitch.
So how did you start your coaching? That's really exciting. Just people coming up to you and saying, hey, how did you do this? And you're like, oh. I should
probably charge for
this.
Yes.
Because of the classic question, can I pick your brain?
You're like, you can for a couple with a $sign.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. There's a consultant fee there.
Yeah. And I think at the beginning it was like, sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was teaching full time and running Dallas Girl Gang. And we were doing at least one event a month or maybe two.
Yeah.
So it was I was getting up at 5:30, work from 7 to 4, go do an event, pack up, come home at 10 or 11 and get up and do it again. That's crazy.
Yes.
So I didn't have the capacity, but I just listened to the questions people were commonly asking.
And what questions do you mind me asking?
Absolutely.
What are the common questions that you get?
I get a lot of social media questions of when should I post? How much should I post? And what should I post? I think those are some of the basic questions I get, which are most of the answer I'm going to say is do what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want. It doesn't matter.
Well, and especially because people on social media can tell when you're not being genuine. So it's less about when and and perfectly timing your post and like what it is that you're trying to say.
Yeah, I'm going to give you like so many more points if you have a spelling error than if it's like really crafted and it feels robotic.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, yes, grammar is important, but
who generated your caption? Who did that? Where'd you get that? Did you Google that?
I definitely get messages back when I have a typo. And I'm like, thank you, internet friends, for telling me how to typo.
That's actually really good advice. There's a person that I follow. April knows this individual as well. And I feel like their content isn't as genuine as it could be. It just feels a little robotic. And sometimes I feel like, wow, the message is so amazing and it's actually quite clear. It just doesn't feel genuine. So
the delivery could be a little more
I think too
authentic.
Social media has changed so much over the last several years, especially Instagram and the way they were doing things and the new features. There was a way that we were taught, if people were really into the online business world 4 or 5 years ago, of like, curate your feed, make it look like this. You have to do all these rules.
Yeah.
I just don't think those rules apply. So maybe this person
love that.
has awesome intentions.
Yeah.
They just need to let's relax a little bit.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because the words that come out of this person's mouth, gold. Mm-hmm. Like really, truly. But it just doesn't feel authentic. Yeah. But I agree with that. I think people, even books now, you read books now and people write the way they speak.
Yep.
And you 10, 15 years ago, that would never have been acceptable. But now it's like, I love this because I can actually understand, digest what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that book, like How to Unfuck Yourself or
whatever.
Books like that Mark Manson. Like that guy was so cool. And he just wrote the way that you would converse with someone.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, this is so effective.
Yes.
I have a friend, Hillary Kruger, who lives in Minnesota, and she has such a Minnesota accent. She is like an email marketing copywriting expert.
Yeah.
She's amazing at helping you find your voice and speak authentically. And she calls herself like the not fancy coach. Like, she's not fancy. She has 4 kids. One of them, she's still breastfeeding, and she's like, this is it. This is like what I got.
Yeah.
And she teaches you, like, in your email marketing, especially because it's so important to have an email list, because we don't own Instagram.
How many have told us that, April?
A lot of people.
Do we have one yet?
Don't yell at me.
Nope. Oh, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at us.
Y'all. Well,
not only for the people who listen, but the guests that we've had on. I mean, we have even just to say, hey, there's a new episode of Big Girl Pants out, you know? And I have all these email addresses because I've been sending all these invites, you know what I'm saying?
Just think about here's the thing. We don't own Instagram, and it could go away like that
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg could be like, never mind.
Right.
It's all gone.
Change my mind.
Do you have a list? Because here's the thing. People might still think it's super old school. I think I would highly disagree.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have 12 people on your email list or 12,000 people on your email list. They're in your pocket.
Right.
And it is at such a higher level of being able to convert to sales, traffic, new listeners,
this is
whatever.
So good advice. We've got to do this.
I mean,
we need to hire her.
It's so important.
We need to hire someone.
Yeah. It's just so important to and in your list, speaking to them like you speak in a real conversation was my point. But it's absolutely doable, and it's not as complicated as people think.
Yeah. No. Well, and I think it's because now it's not so scripted, if you will, or it doesn't have to be so perfect. It's just like put it out there.
Yes.
Stop trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
people want they crave the
analysis paralysis will kill everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, is it perfect enough? I don't know. Should I?
That is
Should I
another question. You were asking questions I get, with people asking business advice or whatever. They're like, I don't know that I'm ready because it's not done, or like my website's not done, or this isn't done. I'm like, you're going to make excuse after excuse, and it's always never going to happen.
Right.
Well, that was us when we started the podcast too. We were just like, oh my God.
But we did, but we were legitimately trying to figure out how to actually get it.
We were totally trying to figure it out. Yeah, for sure.
Because that's definitely
that's
one
a little
thing.
different. I really think we did a great job of ripping the Band-Aid off raw and not perfect, and just saying, here is us. Listen to our first episode.
Yeah, we definitely built ourselves up.
Tells you everything.
First episode of any podcast.
Yeah, we definitely built ourselves up from there to now here. I for sure feel like Drake. For sure.
I think we've done such a fantastic job. We were actually she was recently asked to speak at Dallas, or the Women's University. What's it called?
TW?
TW. Thank you.
Texas Women's.
Thank you. We're both going to do it, but she was the one that was asked. But
they're great.
How to podcast. And I think that's the number one takeaway that we need everyone to walk away from is just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, just figure out like the logistics and just do it. Don't worry about having the intro perfect, or don't worry about having all the fancy equipment or all of that.
No.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And then perfect it as you go.
Yes. And I think that I definitely think that we should have an episode strictly around podcasting.
We should. Because people do ask us all the time.
I was going to say, anything your audience is asking you is clearly something they need. And I'm such a big proponent, especially as a coach, to give free value in my email marketing,
100%.
in my social media.
All the time.
If they're asking me, so for example, so I've gotten a lot of questions recently about brand partnerships, collaborations.
Yeah.
Do you have this? And I just saw it in all my clients, friends, other people that are business owners. And I was like, this is my next freebie I need to make.
Yeah.
This is the next workshop I need to do, is something around collaboration.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? I write this type of template all the time. I'm just going to make it an actual bundle of templates that people can get.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Listening to what people want should drive what you do. Does that make sense?
100%. Yes.
So, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
So with that being said, I actually just remembered that this episode is actually sponsored. This episode is sponsored, and this is like a total organic ad read, so you're welcome. This episode is actually sponsored by Podcorn, and it's something that we should bring up because not only did I go on this website because I was like, man, I really want to find a sponsor.
Right.
I really want to find multiple sponsors, honestly, for our show. And I was like, how, I just go to Google and I'm like, how did you find sponsors for a podcast? And then immediately the first Google search, so good job on your SEO. There was a list for Podcorn, and I went to Podcorn and I registered our podcast, so you create your login,
right,
and you put your podcast at the top. And not only did they make it super simple for me to find brands to partner with, but they lay it out like it's so easy. I go to their website, easy. They say, hey, this is the spot, this is how much they're paying, this is how it works. And I will say that they met and matched the price that I asked for, which is super nice because I know that for a small business, if you want to call it that right now, it's like you don't know what to brand yourself. You don't know how much to ask for your prices or anything like that. So definitely needed to drop that in there that we're
and we are looking for sponsors. So if anybody out there listening is open to it, we are definitely looking for sponsors.
If you want to advertise your brand, your company, your business, whatever the case may be, definitely reach out to us.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of that.
And thank you to Podcorn for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you, Podcorn.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So
love it.
And bringing it like back full circle, like that is something that we need to do not only just for the email list, but also for sponsors, because we have entrepreneurs, we have business owners, we have like all of that.
They love the data.
Yeah. And to spread that, and then also to sponsor, to make it mutually beneficial while this is like our huge passion project, like that's perfect.
Yeah.
Brands are, I mean, if I don't send them our media kit, which I always do, but if I happen to not, they're going to ask me, what's your insights look like on social media?
Yeah.
What does your email list look like? What's your click rate? What's your open rate? How many subscribers do you have? Blah, 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 blah. Or it's like, we don't do business, like they want the numbers.
Yes.
Because
engagement. They want engagement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually just learned about Podcorn just now, so I'm going to go.
Oh, you're welcome.
Check it out.
Definitely check it
Thanks,
out.
Podcorn. Good job.
Thanks, Podcorn.
Seriously.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because I'm sure that as someone who's on social media a lot, I follow a lot of influencers, and I don't know if you know who, they're in the fitness space, but Katie Hearn and Hayden Schneider, they have like 4 companies now that they've built from just an online profile. And it started out as her Instagram. They started out, she started writing plans and she would post workout videos and whatever. And now she's like being interviewed on Forbes for the companies that she's built and the millions of dollars that she's made just from Instagram and social media. But they have now created a brand for themselves outside of just Instagram.
Yeah.
That it's an acknowledgeable brand. So like
absolutely,
their energy drinks are in the fridge right now because I bought them at QT.
Yeah.
Like that's different than just Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're then bringing your tangible product outside of social media and you're selling it, and you've branded now. You've marketed and you've branded.
Yeah. You used it as the platform, and then
from Instagram.
I know.
Millionaires.
And it's also like, you know, those millionaires too know Instagram can't be your end game.
Yeah.
I wrote a post about this. I wrote an email about this, and I said Instagram can't be your end game because, you know, you have to have these other components of, and like Pinterest. Pinterest is a huge marketing tool.
Huge.
That nobody knows.
Yes. Huge.
They should. I mean, we all have our recipes on there. That's cool.
Right.
But like,
and home decor.
Yeah. Switch that puppy to a business profile, put some boards on it, clean it up, and you're in business.
And
like,
people will start sharing your stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My friend Renee has been using Pinterest for a couple of years now. She has millions of monthly viewers. Her Instagram followers, she has like 5,500 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But the fact that Pinterest.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Your Instagram followers actually have nothing to do with it, especially when you're working with brands that acknowledge the whole picture of you and your brand. And that's why I get frustrated sometimes when brands just look at the followers on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not the whole picture.
Well, it's so funny because the girl we had on initially, our first episode today, we were like, dude, you have 90,000 followers on Instagram. She's like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? Because I don't have 90,000. What does that mean?
Like, it matters to us.
It matters to me.
And to me, it's a lot of what I teach my clients too is like, yes, and one of the questions I get is, how do I get more followers? And my question to them is, why do you want more followers?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to nurture them to stay in your corner of the internet and buy your shit?
Yeah.
And do you have a plan?
Add?
Like, what's your do you have a value proposition for them?
Right.
Do you know exactly what you bring to the table? And then yes, followers, awesome. But also, like, what are you doing to get more email subscribers?
Yeah.
Are you on YouTube? You know, not that you have to be on all these platforms.
Right, but still.
But what's your plan?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, so
They're
then.
like, but I just want more followers. Like,
Exactly.
I just really like when people follow me.
Also,
it's a dopamine hit every time I get a like.
Is it?
That's it.
Is the expectation?
Ding.
Is it the dopamine hit?
It's
okay.
that.
I'm like, are they thinking they're going to monetize? Like, what?
They think. So a lot of people, and I think this is partly Instagram's fault, whatever, but because when you hit 10K, you get the swipe up.
Yeah.
Man, I want the swipe up.
Here's the deal.
Mary wants to swipe up too.
I know Mary and I talk about this all the time. And she knows this, but if you hit the swipe up when you have a link to share, guess what? They're not going to automatically go to that link.
Yeah.
They're not going to automatically go buy that stuff.
Yeah.
Unless your audience is exactly engaged into what that link is for.
Yes.
If they have asked for it. If
they're like, I don't give a shit about the swipe up because I'm not even going to swipe up.
And then they're going to bounce. And
Right.
they're not going to follow you anymore. And they're going to be like, now she's just selling a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's bought.
And I'm out. So it's, yes, obviously always working towards growth. But what's your plan? And if you think you're just going to instantly monetize, here's the thing. I was monetizing before we hit 10K.
Yeah.
I replaced my teacher salary before we had 10K. Like it's about the relationships you're building off of the platform or in your DMs on Instagram.
Yeah.
That is where I would venture to say 75% of my business.
Yeah.
In Instagram DMs.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how many times I've posted that week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, I'm on
it
Clubhouse.
goes down in the DMs.
I was going to ask about that. So I do want to touch on Clubhouse because you asked about it earlier.
Yeah, we're not on there yet.
Yeah.
But
you should.
I really want to be. So like, just send me an invite. Anybody send me an invite, okay?
I have one. I'll just give you one.
Oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
You're the best.
I have like 6.
So how does it work? I mean, I'm on, but I got an invite. I joined. Or I logged in
it's
and
rooms.
I saw
it's rooms.
I saw the different rooms. I scroll.
Yeah.
And so basically just join the ones you want to join.
Yep.
And
so if you're a new user, also set up your profile immediately so that it shows people who you are, what you do, and how you can serve them or connect with them.
Yeah.
Connect your Instagram account or Twitter account if you don't have Instagram. And then I would highly suggest like spending some time on the app for a few weeks, just going in and
I know
listening.
Joe Rogan is in rooms on Clubhouse. And
He
I'm like
is.
such a
Elon
fan
Musk
girl.
is like Lindsay Lohan. Demi Lovato was on the other day to to talk about her new thing.
And can anyone create a room?
Yes.
Once you're invited in, you can create a room.
Yep.
Or can you create a room without an invitation?
You have to get an invitation to get on the app in the first place.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. We heard they were going to take the app public out of beta testing in March. March is almost over, so I don't know.
Does that mean that they're going to open it to Androids too, or is it still just going to be iPhones?
I don't know. It's probably a step closer to Android.
Yeah.
So that's, So when you get an invite, you get on the app and you basically have free reign to do whatever. You can create your own club. You can create your own room, whatever. But my biggest suggestions are set up your profile so people land on it and they can be linked out to Instagram.
Okay.
Spend time listening, learning.
Yeah.
Like finding the clubs and the rooms you want to be plugged into.
Yeah.
And if you need club recommendations, like ask me, get in our Facebook group, ask other people.
Yeah.
We have a club, the Girl Gang Community Club.
Cool.
And so we host rooms in there all the time, and we link out from my my website, and then eventually we'll get it on our website as soon as we can. But and what we're doing now too is, and I love this component of, it's just another great leg of our community. Other people like you guys we're going to have a form soon where you can fill out the form, say we want to host a room on this under your club so that people in our club can come join your room.
That's cool.
And come listen.
Yeah.
And then we say, check, and you schedule the room. You send us, you add the link. I think right now we just have it in a Google Doc. And then I'll update it on the website, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun. And then once you feel comfortable, like knowing how to use the app, listen in and raise your hand. So there's a button at the bottom of your screen that is like a little hand.
Yeah.
Click that button, and when they prompt you to, and you get put on the stage, which puts you at the top of the room. So you see all the moderators and then the other people who are just on the stage to ask a question,
right,
add a piece of advice or whatever. Anybody else listening, you have to scroll to the bottom.
Okay.
So if you're at the very top, everybody in that room is focused on you.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room is focused on the people at the top.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's so much I could go into.
I'm so pumped. I can't wait.
Seriously.
I'm so excited about this invite right now.
It has exploded business in the last couple of months.
Yeah. I mean, it really has just been the last couple months.
Yeah. I mean, it's a year old. The app is a year old.
Yeah.
But I just got on.
People are hearing about it. People know what it is now.
Well, and larger names are going there, which is driving traffic to the app.
Absolutely. Saying, get on the app now.
Yes. Because they're talking free form, just like a podcast. And you can know the exact topic of the conversation, so you can know if you'll find value in it or not.
Exactly.
So much better.
I saw a funny story saying, get on Clubhouse because, people are saying, oh, that's not going to last. And like,
nope.
How'd that work out for Blockbuster? It's going to last. It's the newest
antiquated technology.
Yeah.
I think I was in a room the other day on stage with Marie Forleo.
Love her. Oh my gosh.
Rebecca Minkoff. And who else was it? Amy Porterfield. I love Amy Porterfield. Yeah. She's incredible. It's wild. It's so incredible.
I'm going to have to check it out.
I'm thinking about all the ideas. Like I posted on my Instagram story last night, and I'm sure that you've probably seen this topic come up a lot too, but New Zealand is now offering 2 weeks bereavement pay for any woman who loses a child.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I posted that on my Instagram story because I was like, guys, I work in this industry. I'm trying to get companies the talent that they need on their teams. And if you think this is not going to change the world or the workplace in general, like you're wrong. So not only is if your company is not open to even having a conversation around this idea, they're going to leave and they're going to go work somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And I just have so many ideas.
And that's what's so cool is you guys can survey your audience here or personally or whatever of what they want to talk about and open up the floor on,
everything.
Yeah.
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 And I love it.
Cool platform.
I mean, that's why we started our podcast too.
That is why.
Like, but how many people are on Clubhouse?
A million. Yeah. Well, and it's like, there's no prep. You don't have to put on your makeup and you roll out of bed.
No.
You can just
record.
do it Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like podcasters are dying to utilize Clubhouse for their podcast.
Dude.
But this time you can't, but probably later.
But I'm just trying to utilize Clubhouse just to listen to more things. Because the better educated I am, the more I bring to the table here.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
the more topics
For
I know
sure.
about, the more information I have. It just makes me a better all-around human.
for sure.
Yeah.
I would agree with
That's
that.
why I listen to podcasts all the time, though.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
Yeah,
even
you
watch
got me
TV.
into it
Yeah.
for sure. I don't either.
I'm
Very
obsessed.
rarely do I turn on my TV, but I read books all the time.
Yeah.
Y'all are really great people. I do not read very much. I really should.
Well, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I
do too.
actually told somebody this the other day. I was like, listen, I'm kind of weird, and I kind of do things differently. So I listen to podcasts all the time, right? Whether that's about politics or business or personal. Like, I love Joe Rogan, and I love a bunch of other different podcasts that are super fun. But podcast is a constant for me. That never goes away.
For sure.
But Audible or audiobooks,
That is how I will read books.
Yeah,
I love audiobooks.
Me too.
But I have to be in the right frame of mind where I'm completely open and I want to learn, and that's where I'm at. Now, if I'm having a particularly emotional day, then I'll listen to music. But other than that, podcast is like my constant. That's the thing that I listen to all the time. Doing laundry, making dinner, or whatever. But
Do you know what it's done to me? I'm so out of touch with music.
I
have no
I don't even
idea.
know.
I have
My
no
husband and
idea.
we were talking about that because we're both
So out of
musicians and we're like, oh my gosh, like what's cool? I don't know what's
this new
cool
song?
anymore.
What is
I
that?
have no idea.
Because I'm listening to podcasts all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
it's
bad.
not still 2005 in music world because
I can't listen to Pink anymore. Wait, what's happening?
what?
You can listen to Pink
No, I know.
anytime you want. Pink is amazing.
I just don't know all these new artists or these new
Yeah,
songs, and then my kid knows them because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how, but
Megan
whatever.
the style. What's her name?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mom,
Yeah.
what is that?
Megan the trainer. That's a different person.
Megan the trainer.
I don't
Oh my god, I love Megan
Good
Trainor.
time.
Ugh. I love having people like you on.
I do
This is
too.
so exciting. This is for sure a
Glad.
collab, though. Big Girl Pants meets Dallas Girl Gang.
Yeah, for
I love
sure.
it. That's what we're gonna call the
This is why
episode.
we created this, though.
For
I know.
sure.
Cool people doing cool things right here in our own backyard.
Yeah.
And damn, you check all those boxes.
Bro, you're
Well,
about to
I'm
take
so
off,
glad.
though.
Yeah.
You're about to be
We're already there.
prestige worldwide.
Prestige.
Why?
It's super exciting. My goal, I would love to. We did actually plan to launch in Austin last year.
Yeah.
On March 14th.
And what would it be called? Austin Girl Gang?
Yeah.
Okay.
But my thought is now, I thought, I could franchise and people could have their own chapters. I don't think that's the way I want to go. I think we just keep it here, and then we pop up where other people want us.
Sure.
So do an Austin event. Go to California,
So
wherever
how does
people
that
are.
how does that work with the Girl Gang logo? Like,
Well, I was
mean,
thinking, like,
do you
just-
own that? Like, can you copyright that or whatever so nobody else can take it?
For sure, yeah. When I was looking into especially trademarks, trademarks are one of those things too that doing it with a location in the name is difficult.
Yeah.
And so that's why we went with You Can Sit With Us. And so that's definitely something we'd have to look into and see, okay, if we're going to go here. But, a lot of other platforms like this do that. It's just thinking through the logistical process.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How
still a
old
lot
are
of
you?
research. I'm 28.
Wow.
Gangster.
Man.
What a boss.
Me too.
I feel like I met a bunch of soul sisters today. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
It's super
for
fun.
sure.
I kind of love my life, guys. I just love it. It's really great.
I know this is therapy. It has
100%
We've said that so
cathartic.
many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, like over the last few years, or I guess 2.5. That this is my weekly therapy session,
But in the
You just
best way
need it.
possible.
in a great way possible.
Yeah.
And it's not even an emotional unload. It's not even about that. It's like
You just need people.
good positive energy
feeding
and just-
yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
and I just love
is how I feed
stories
myself.
of people doing cool things, especially when you're a teacher and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna start a Facebook page and have 50,000 people and then take it global. It's just not everybody.
And that
does
was
it.
not the plan either,
No,
right?
I know, but
It's so interesting.
you just did it to steal
Yeah.
from Nike, right? You didn't wait to perfect anything. You just went
Yeah.
out there and did it,
Yeah.
and look what it's becoming. And I
And
love
so
that.
you have 25,000 on Facebook,
in our group, yeah.
but your Instagram, how many do you have on Instagram? 19,000?
30 something.
Yeah, 30 something. So you have more on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
then
super cool.
Podcasts.
But then
and,
your own personal Instagram has 12,000.
something like that.
okay.
Yeah.
I've got to follow you. I don't think I follow you.
I follow
yeah.
you everywhere.
I'm super fun. No,
I'm going to follow you. It's fine.
Yeah.
I really need to work on the Instagram thing. I've been talking about it for a while now, and I just don't know that I'm that cool. It's like put things out there.
Super
no. And that's what we were talking about is like, just put out what you want to put out.
Well, just put out what is the most authentic to you, because there are people that are very similar to you or like you and would want to follow you.
And what's valuable.
Because I think about that too. I have like, analysis paralysis to use it twice in the same episode. But like when I think about things that I'm posting, I'm like, are people going to like this? And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
But you have a lane though. You have a lane. Like you've got a brand.
That's true. But I've also kind of like, kind of veered off because I am like a whole person. I work out, but also I have a kid. I have, a mister. I have a podcast. I have a career. And I've just talked about all of them now. And I just stopped caring. I don't care.
Honestly, people love that the most.
Exactly.
They really do.
Because it's like full picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I've talked to friends, clients, or just seeing myself when I just stopped caring. Or, especially like now that Instagram has reels, like TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love making those.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And
so what do you do? Like when you're at home and you're like, okay, I'm going to make a reel. Is that what it's called?
Well, she probably doesn't just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to make a reel. She's probably been thinking about ideas about reels or what I'm going to make a reel about. And then you execute the reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'll watch other people's and I'm like, I could get an idea from that. I like might save the audio and Instagram will save it in a folder. And then if I know the type of content like I'm going to be putting out for the next few weeks or whatever, I can pull that audio and I make my own video or whatever. Or I just grab my husband because he just could do something like stupid. And, it just depends. Or sometimes it's on the fly where I'm like, oh, that's so funny. And I could do that in like 5 seconons.
Let's do it.
And then I just save them all to my drafts. Like I have like 30 in my drafts right now that are just
queued up.
Yeah, queued up, ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
It is cool.
I love it.
I freaking love your story.
I do too.
Super fun. Thanks.
All three
You're
today.
So welcome.
All three today. Just fabulous.
I feel like this was definitely more like we had a day where we recorded 4 episodes in a day. And
that was intense.
That was like war. We walked out of there and we were like, I don't know if we ever want to do that again.
I'm like,
but I don't feel that way
to anyone else.
But I don't feel that way today because I feel like every episode has fed me in a different way.
That's good. For sure. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Of course.
So my gosh, for sure. Well, tell everybody how to find you, even though I'm pretty sure at this point they've probably got it figured out. But just in case.
And we will link you and tag you in the show notes and in the episode and stuff too. So
that's true. But go ahead and give yourself a plug.
If you just Google Dallas Girl Gang, you'll find all you need. Our website, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. And then my personal is Amanda's in Dallas. And then you can find everything on that Instagram. My website's in the link in bio. And then, our Girl Gang Community Club on Clubhouse.
Yes.
Can't wait to get in on that.
Yeah, you got to get an invite.
Okay, well, you can find us on
all the platforms.
Our website, www.biggirlpantspod.com, but also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts is where we get a lot of our traffic, a lot of our listeners.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us again, everybody.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. 5 stars, too. That would be great.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.